All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking your time to join me with this emergency TikTok Zoom. Lots of interesting things have been happening over the past several days, and I wanted to really get on fast and give you a quick guide so you can be bulletproof, recession proof, and you won't have to be dependent necessarily on any social channel or search engine or what have you. So this just brings to light a very, very important point, something that we've already known for a very long time. So I'm going to wait just another minute or two so we can let others trickle in, and then I'm going to get started, and then maybe midway through this presentation, I'll open it up for a quick Q&A. If you have specific questions, I'd love to be able to answer those for you. So again, congratulations on being here. It's something that, more business owners, doctors need to be aware of as times evolve. We don't control what other platforms do. We don't control what governments do. I'm not going to get political on this particular training, but I'm going to bring some things to light and to help you recession proof and bulletproof your practice, your business, and your online presence. So just one more minute and I will get started. All right, so welcome again, everyone. TikTok officially went offline yesterday. It was expected because we know in the last several years there's been attempt on both sides of the aisle to try to get this app banned. However, it's interesting because over the years I've worked with so many doctors and business owners that have literally made small fortunes on this channel, growing their practice, getting sponsorship deals, generating millions upon millions of followers, selling digital information products using TikTok Shop, and just like so many other things that this channel has done exceptionally well. In fact, and if you recall, when TikTok first came out, it was the only social network that actually allowed you to reach people beyond your current fan base. Like if you post something on Facebook, only your fans are going to see it, and it's definitely not going to go viral on a channel like Facebook. But TikTok actually just flipped social media on its head, so it gained massive popularity. And now, as of today, it has over 2.5 billion users, I believe. And so it's been wildly popular, not just throughout the States, over 170 million users here, but also throughout the world. So one of the things that I definitely wanted to share, and you already know this, is whenever you put all of your eggs into one channel, even if you have ad agencies doing stuff for you, I speak with a lot of doctors all the time that I've helped grow that TikTok is literally half of their business coming in every single month, which is it's so powerful. Creators the same way, people selling online courses are using TikTok Shop. And it's just an amazing opportunity that this channel provides us, but we just don't control what governments do tomorrow. And what was pretty interesting is if you logged in, you probably saw something like this. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. But then they mentioned that the owners are working with President Trump as it stands. And to my knowledge, the company itself has 60% ownership by international investors, 20% ownership by the original founders, and then 20% ownership by the actual users of the network. So it's a very interesting platform in and of itself. And we're going to talk about the TikTok ban, the temporary reinstatement, and what to do and how to pivot and profit. 4 steps you have to take immediately. So take some notes. This is not a long presentation at all, but I figured this would be high value for you. Even if you're not using this channel right now to drive traffic, sales, and people through your door, you still should be well aware of this information because this could very easily happen with a company like Google, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you're driving traffic online. The rug can be pulled out. Google has been notorious, YouTube, like all these channels throughout the years, if you've studied them and been around as long as I have. I guess I'm a dinosaur in the social media space because I've been helping doctors and professionals since about 2005, 2006 in the MySpace days, trained many, many thousands of clients over the years, and I've seen platforms come and go. I've seen when platforms really start off and they just let you reach everyone, and then man, they just put the brakes on because now they want to squeeze some advertising dollars out of you. So I've seen everything in between. So we're going to talk about some ways that you can prevent yourself from getting into any problems in the future and just relying on this one specific channel. So let's dig in. Now, immediate action steps that you can take right now, even though it's been temporarily reinstated. So if you're on TikTok right now, know that there's talk of there being a 90-day probationary window to try to secure other funding and for them to divest a little bit more and to find other, excuse me, American interests. That may or may not happen. We have no idea. But what I would recommend doing in the first 1 to 2 weeks right now in particular is to, one, notify your people on all platforms, to inform your client base, your patients, your followers about the situation, right? Everyone, and provide them alternative ways to connect with you, such as whether it's your email newsletters, social media accounts like your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, your website, your blog, calling them and texting. You need to let everyone in your sphere know, like, hey, we're building our Instagram now. We're building our Facebook. We're getting onto our newsletter. Like, you want to have everyone aware of what's happened so you can still maintain contact with them specifically. Now, building an email list and an SMS list, that's an example of something that you have greater control over. So if you haven't already, you should be creating some type of what they call a lead magnet, ethical bribe. Could be a free guide, discount of sorts, a contest. Contest works really well for this. In fact, whenever you're building any social channel or you're building your email list, to encourage your audience and followers or your current patients or clients to join you on a different platform. Now that you've got this window on TikTok in particular, you can try to start letting your followers know that, hey, if we don't know if this is going to be around in 90 more days, let's make sure that we connect on my email list because we're running a super cool contest. And then you stack the value and just give them tons of reasons why they should be on your email list. And for the longest time, I've loved social media in terms of the revenue that it's brought our businesses and for my clients, but I've always understood that you need to build a list on your own platform. My current email list, not just in the health profession and chiropractic, for example, I've got over 90,000 business owners, entrepreneurs that I've been building over the years, just on my email list, which is really powerful because I can send out an email tomorrow and let them know that I'm on a different channel. And let me go back here real quick, and use it to maintain your communication and, of course, promote specific offers over that way. You're going to want to save and repurpose all of your content on TikTok. Many of you have been extremely active, uploading 1 to 2 TikTok videos every single day, which is awesome. I know it's brought in a lot of awareness, traffic, and revenue for the business. So it would be really smart of you, if you haven't already, to download all those videos so you can reuse on other platforms like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, your LinkedIn posts, your tweets on X, Pinterest. I mean, all the social media channels you should be repurposing anyway. And if you needed to download them or have, somebody from Fiverr or a freelancer download them for you, stick them in a Dropbox. You could do that relatively inexpensively, but you should have access to that content. So again, if you're not really familiar with who I am, I'll give you like the 2-minute Cliff Note version. Been doing this stuff a long time, like I said, since the MySpace days early on. This is myself and my lovely wife, and I'm the author of Social Media Made Me Rich. Here's how it can do the same for you. And I've helped a lot of doctors over the years grow their impact, influence, and their income, as well as business owners using these social channels and platforms. I've spoken in many places all over the world on this stuff. So I'm not a Johnny come lately fly by night consultant. I've been doing this a very, very long time, and millions have seen my content in over 25 countries. So doctors in particular, I've helped them generate 25 plus new patients a month from social media and these channels. Business owners, I've coached business owners and other chiropractors on how to generate recurring income, 5-figure per month income streams from the internet, because you should have more than one stream of income. We'll talk about that a little bit later, because that's also a part of what you have to address, whether that's been from business acquisition, selling online courses, affiliate marketing, Amazon selling, launching books, membership sites, and the whole kit and caboodle. And I've taught them a set of skills that pays them for life. It's not just a fly by night thing. And I also host our weekly Freedom Alliance Mastermind, where we as business owners and doctors talk about investing, profit and growth, business strategies, and how the world is shifting and the ability to pivot accordingly. And I wanted to, one real quick second. This is really important, and you should absolutely be there if you can. Before I get into the other information, we're hosting a specific training in Las Vegas, March 29th. It's our social media revenue summit. It's at the Bellagio. It's a beautiful property, 5-star. And I think you're going to really love it. You'll find it valuable because we talk about so many other things on top of not just one or two social media elements. We talk about diversification, ways to really create your spider web online so you can be bulletproof and recession proof. You don't have to worry about certain fluctuations. That's at March 29th, Las Vegas. We have 19 spots left. It's going to be a much smaller event than our typical Atlanta event in August. And you can get the information at profit365.org/Vegas, profit365.org/Vegas. And at the end of this training, I'm going to tell you how to get a free ticket to this event. So you make sure you stay with me. So let's get back into it. Let's talk about diversification strategy. This is kind of like the number 2 point that I really wanted to hit. And I've always stressed creating your traffic pillars like the Parthenon. If one pillar goes down, you still have others that support the structure. So expanding to multiple platforms is a must. You need to take an inventory currently of what you're doing online. And maybe you've got 1 or 2 channels dialed in specifically, which is awesome, right? You're crushing it with these 1 or 2 channels like Facebook or TikTok or whatever it was. However, if you really want to be recession proof, then you need to have so many different pillars. So in case something gets knocked down, like a TikTok, it doesn't affect you as much because you've got all these different things. So one way certainly is to refine your Google SEO, search engine optimization strategy, getting your website ranked higher on the search engine for more keywords. Maybe you're ranking great for 1 or 2 keywords, but there's a dozen or 2 dozen that could consistently pull traffic, business, and patients your way. The reputation social proof management aspect, like Google Maps, Yelp, TripAdvisor, WebMD, these are all review platforms that have their own different audiences that we eventually will want to have traffic coming in from all these different directions. Now you have pay-per-click advertising, which you have pay-per-click on your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, AdWords, LinkedIn, Spotify, lots of ways to drive paid traffic to your offers, to your website, and such. Then you've got the organic side of social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads, all these different channels where you'll post something and then hope to get some free distribution so your friends or followers will see it. Your online video channels like YouTube, TikTok, live streaming on Facebook, and then you've got blogging and microblogging. X is a great example of a microblogging network in particular. Then photo sharing, Instagram, Pinterest, social search optimization, which is really important on Instagram, TikTok, and all these channels. Now, the younger generations in particular, a lot of them, instead of going to Google, they're actually typing in on Instagram or TikTok, best pizza places in Atlanta, Georgia, or plumbers in, San Diego. So they want the video feedback, and whoever comes up, they're more likely to choose based on social proof. So you have to make sure your content is optimized for that. Search GPT SEO. Now, with all the chatbots coming out, including Chat GPT, this could be a powerful way eventually really to get some good exposure. And they're going to be taking quite a bit of market share from Google, just like social search has done. Podcasting is another way to generate traffic through a different medium. News releases and publicity, joint venture partnerships that are either local with other business owners or online, where you both mail for each other and cross promote each other's offers and or content. Then you have solo ads and social media shout outs, which you pay influencers essentially to get in front of their crowds on social media. And that's another way to certainly drive a great amount of traffic. Then you have offline marketing. We can't forget about this. And if something's working for you, by all means, keep doing it. Internal referrals for your practice, your business. If the great thing is when you use social media or the internet and you can take one person that comes in and then get them to refer their family or other referrals. That's the beautiful thing. So if you don't have a rock solid system in place, that's where you also need to refine. I have clients that consistently turn one into two or three new referrals. So that's important. In some markets, direct mail pieces still work very well. The mailbox is a lot thinner these days because there's so many people online. Television in some markets still works great. Radio, conventional media, workshops for a lot of doctors, even trade shows. So I'm not opposed to offline marketing at all. I love diversifying and having so many different channels. So again, remember, take an inventory of everything that you're currently doing, stack it up against this list that I've just shown you. And I'm only sharing a handful really of ways to generate traffic. There are so many more, but I'm just trying to stimulate ideas so you can be more diversified. Channels you own in particular, your website, your email list, and your SMS, your text list. Those are things that you own that Google can't take away from you. TikTok can't take away from you. But what I would tell you is if you build a large email list, you should absolutely back that up maybe once a month, once every 2 months, because there are platforms out there like MailChimp, depending on what you talk about, they will ban your email management account. Same thing with SMS providers, right? You just need to always back that information up just in case something happens. Better to prevent in the situations, right? Now, I'll say this, I've encountered any obstacle or challenge that you'll face or bottleneck with social media marketing or advertising in particular. We all have blind spots. I have mentors that see my blind spots, and when I'm looking to really refine and learn a different area, I go to the best of the best. But I'll tell you, when it comes to social media marketing and advertising, complexity is typically the enemy of profitability. So as you diversify, you don't have to get crazy sophisticated funnels and whatnot. You need to be able to make the simple things work to generate people in your door or sales. And once you can do that consistently, yeah, we can absolutely stack on more complex systems. And I could share with you so many case studies and testimonials from doctors and business owners that have just blown the doors off when, I've taken them under my wing, privately coached them, and we've integrated different systems from all different ways. This is Dr. Kurt and Peggy, 13 to 20 new patients a week as they integrated the social media strategies that we implemented together. Dr. Tiffany credits over 14,000 extra per month with what I've been able to teach her over the years. Dr. Brian Morris, 35 new patients plus per month just using the internet and social media from coaching. Dr. Blake here, we've set out an email campaign and he had 31 new patient appointments in 3 days, 13 reactivations, 18 brand new patients, right? This is insane, but these are the type of results that you can get when you dial in these methods and when it's all working together like clockwork. So now let's get into some mid-term actions that you can take right now. We're talking about 3 to 6 months. The other stuff was a more immediate play where of course, you need to download everything and repurpose it and such. Let's talk 3 to 6 months into the game to prepare. You need to really place an emphasis on developing more long form content. So YouTube, just the standard YouTube, not the shorts now, is more for that, like creating 5, 10, 30, 50-minute videos. And then you can always get those videos chopped up using other programs out there and then distribute them on short form content. But it's very smart to have a long term and a long form content strategy. Podcasts are very similar to this. This positions you as an authority and keeps your audience engaged for long periods of time. Blogging regularly also helps your SEO, how you rank on Google, and your organic traffic. This is not a short-term play, though. You can't just throw up 20 blogs and expect to rank high for keywords on Google. That's not how it works. However, if you are consistent, that snowball eventually turns into an avalanche 5, 6 months, a year down the road. And the earlier you get started, the better. So this is a system to put in motion by your team, whoever's going to be writing this stuff for you or creating the content. The earlier you do it, the better. Then you can also leverage paid advertising. Of course, we have the short-term aspect where we can flip a switch and turn $1 into three, hopefully. And then the long term where we're investing more in platforms. like Google, Instagram, YouTube, and hopefully TikTok if it's around, and Facebook to recapture and grow your audience, then using what are called retargeting campaigns to go back to people that have viewed your content before or past clients or patients. That's the cool thing. When somebody comes into my funnel, for example, they see a piece of content, some will just say, Matt, I see you all over the place online. Your posts, and even when I'm not even on social media, I see your stuff. Well, it's not an accident. It's because part of our strategy is the retargeting. We're always creating more content that follows our ideal audience around. And some people are going to pull the trigger now and either buy something or come into your office. Otherwise, it's going to take 3 months, 6 months, or a year. But if you never have an email list and if you never use a retargeting strategy, you're just missing out on a large, in fact, a vast majority of people that would actually do business with you. And then, you should be tapping into what's called community marketing. And this is where you're building or joining online communities that are relevant to your niche. You can do this on niche forums. You can do this on Facebook groups, Substack, Discord, and eventually create your own community. You can create a Facebook group, but if you're going to do that, it's much better to use a platform like School or Mighty Networks, because these platforms you can actually do free, and then you can bump it up to paid as you get more members. I've had a lot of clients that actually do this very successfully, and it's a great way to go one to many and to diversify your income streams outside of your practice or your business. So another great method there. Now let's talk about some long-term actions that you can have right now. So let's say 6 to 12 months in the future, for example. Of course, diversifying your income streams. I think that it doesn't take me saying this right now, but having one or two streams of income right at this stage in 2025, it's extremely dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So you should absolutely be diversified, because we don't know what the future holds. I read an article not too long ago in Forbes magazine that the average multimillionaire has over 14 streams of income. Over 14 streams of income. Of course, that doesn't happen tomorrow. However, you got to be thinking about the future. If you have a chiropractic practice right now, so something happens to your hands, you get in a skiing accident, or the government shuts you down, like what happened in 2020. This is what the whole TikTok thing reminded me of a little bit too. It's like, man, when the government shut many businesses down in so many states, they literally said you can't practice or do business, which is mind blowing to me, right? But we know that can happen. So if you haven't made any progress since that time, shame on you. And if you're just now really realizing this, it's not too late. But this TikTok, again, people have been messaging me like crazy, especially, a couple creators in particular that I'm thinking of. They literally built their entire business on TikTok, which did great for many, many years, but the revenue is cut off overnight. You never want to be in that position. Never put yourself in that position. Now, you could also create digital courses, ebooks, build online membership communities, buy established businesses. That's what I've been teaching a lot of doctors and professionals how to do, to create more cash flow, invest in single family real estate like we do, sell products on Amazon, or expand your physical product range to generate more revenue outside of social media as it stands. And then you could explore partnerships or affiliate marketing opportunities, which means that you promote other products and services and they give you a commission. You don't need to recruit anyone, set up any sales pages. You just refer. And of course, the commission checks can come in if it's done the right way. Then you have to track and adapt. And all of this, the midterm and the long-term strategy, analyze your metrics from these platforms and marketing channels to see what's working. You should be testing new marketing channels and platforms. For, let's say, the last year, I've had a lot of clients testing Hulu, for example, and Hulu's been working great for some advertisements in terms of bringing in people through the door and revenue. Others, it hasn't worked so much depending on the area. But you should always be testing new channels that are hyper local to you if you're in a local market, or otherwise. That's how you're going to know. Take some of your best content and ads from different platforms, sprinkle it over here, and is it working? And then reassess. And you'll find that likely some channels are crushing it and maybe others are not. Continue testing and experiment with new formats to see which ones are doing the best. And then, you can explore more offline marketing sources like trade shows, local events, workshops to connect with customers face to face. Use print media, local advertising to drive traffic to your online platforms. You can mix it up in a lot of different ways. So proactive steps to future-proof your business or your practice. Own your own audience. This is a big one and arguably one of the most important. Never leave all of your traffic channels to an outside source you don't control. Adapt to new platforms, create evergreen content, not that's going to expire tomorrow. I mean, I've had friends and clients build their entire businesses on a platform like Snapchat, which the whole platform revolves around expiring content. I never like that. I don't really like the stories on Facebook or Instagram because they expire. Now, I post there quite a bit because it sends a tremendous amount of traffic, and you should too, but they expire. So never, you always want to have content that is evergreen, that is not going to have a very low shelf life. Diversify your marketing channels. We already talked about that, and diversify your income streams. That is essentially like just one of the most powerful ways you can do that. And if you're just tuning in right now, make sure you watch the replay if you didn't, because there's a lot of great content to help future-proof your practice model and or your business. Now, I just want to ask you, how much different and bulletproof would your business have been if you just had these things working 6 months ago or a year ago? If you're feeling a little pinched by what's happened with TikTok, and which could easily happen to Google or Facebook for whatever reason, algorithm switches, government shuts your business down, you got to think about this stuff seriously. Never put yourself at the mercy of one traffic source, but with change comes opportunity for those that are smart enough to adapt. And like I said before, I've encountered any obstacle and challenge you're going to face with social media marketing and advertising. So I have a few minutes right now, and I wanted to open up the floor to answer a couple questions that you have. If it's personalized to your business or your practice, feel free to go and unmute yourself for this time and ask a question. Hopefully I can help you fast track and give you some insights there. And like I said, just to remind you, if you're tuning in a little late, watch the replay because we covered a lot of great content on the first part of this. Any questions, feel free to ask real quick. And you can unmute yourself.
With AI generating the auto search results on Google, have you seen less effectiveness with Google Ads?
Um, with Google Ads, not so much, but with the AI generated search results, what's happening is they're pushing everything else down. So if you ranked really high organically in the past, this isn't happening as much in the local markets yet, but my suspicion is it will in the future. I mean, it's all speculation. We don't know, but there have been 15 to 25% drops in traffic if you sell stuff digitally, for example, or you're ranking for national keywords. So the AI generated results have impacted it. The AdWords, though, still do. Um, but they still do bump up and appear relatively high. But that is also something you should track from your end. For instance, if you have great Google AdWords, pay per click, all of a sudden you're seeing the numbers drop substantially. Then we need to figure out and try to reverse engineer what the problem is. Are the ads like are they reaching the same people over and over? Do we need to switch up the creative a little bit? I mean, or did it happen when Google made a rollout? So we should pay attention to those things and see if there's a correlation. If not, we just might need to test more different ads.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. How do we manipulate the AI search? There's a lot of chatter and services. That's what Chris asks. Manipulate the AI search. Google's very intelligent, so I'm not sure exactly how you mean with this question, but AI generated content, for instance, like that you and I might generate with AI, is not going to rank as well. So there's a time and place to absolutely use that, but we also should use human generated content like a ghostwriter, or if we write ourselves. There's got to be a mixture of both. Um, the Google's goal is to make content more relevant to the user always. So the AI generated results theoretically help you get more relevant information. So, that's what I would say, unless you had a specific follow-up question to that. There's really not a way to manipulate or game the search anymore. And sometimes they're just, if there is a way, well, that's going to be short-lived and Google's going to crack down on the loophole. So Adam asks, are they pulling most of the AI generated searches from blog posts? Where is the info for those searches sourced from so we can influence those searches? Very good question. So to my knowledge, AI generates it. It pulls from the top sources. So if your blog or if your website, let's say I search a health condition. Usually what you'll find is like the Mayo Clinic pops up. There's several authoritative websites that pull up. And then there could be some local sites. AI extracts all that information, looks at the commonalities, looks at the credibility of the source, looks at and a bunch of other factors to generate its own thing. So technically, it doesn't plagiarize like from the Mayo Clinic, for example. You might have some overlap, but it collects from a bunch of different sources on that. Um, and that's really, quite honestly, I think still in the infancy stages to where it. So the best that you could do as a business owner is keep creating top-notch content, number one, that Google finds authoritative. And once your website really ranks high and gets a lot of external links from authority-based websites, like high quality, it's a lot easier for um, Google and AI to pull. And there's also really more like techie, geeky things like your schema that a very advanced SEO could probably help you with. The questions, because a lot of people asking questions on Google these days, and you want to have your website optimized a lot of different ways for that. But at the end of the day, having a meaty website and building like there's a great tool that I've referenced before, Adam, called Answer the Public. So, you can take your primary keywords, right? And whatever that is, auto accident specialist, Atlanta, Georgia. And then, you could type in auto accident and then you could go and Answer the Public and it'll tell you all the questions, prepositions, phrases that people actually ask Google that give you content ideas. And you can have authoritative blog posts created for all of those things and then fuse your local SEO into that. And whenever you create content, you want to look at the most authoritative piece of content on that subject online. Let's say it is the Mayo Clinic, and you want to make your content better, not just written better, but with infographics, videos, like because the more comprehensive it is, the higher it's going to get ranked typically, and then eventually that snowball turns into an avalanche, and you'll have some serious rankings. Steve says, I focus on the human algorithm. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong if you focus on what our habits typically are, but the reverse engineering and figuring out what people are searching and then having human content and relevance is always going to work well on Google. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do before I move on. All right. So So for those of you here right now, I've got a special invitation for you in particular, and let me just do this here. There we go. Lots of opportunities as things change. And, I've been fortunate to keep my finger on the pulse of social media since its infancy in 2005. I see trends come way before they happen. I usually hop on an innovator stage because I'm just there with, in certain groups and this is my world, right? And I'm always delivering that to my mastermind members or coaching clients. So you get first access. And the reality is, if you look at anything online in particular, early adopters and early movers, innovators, they always make the most money, right? I mean, think about way back in the day when YouTube, for example, was getting indexed on Google for the very first time, like 2006. YouTube launches, and you could literally rank a video for any keyword you wanted. I mean, we were generating so much money just by doing that alone because it was like all of a sudden this is a thing now. Google loves it, and we positioned ourselves very, very well in our companies. And I taught my clients how to do the same thing. So the special invitation that I have for you is to work close with me, specifically one-on-one through my private coaching. And I'm just going to give you specifically what you get in this private coaching so you know. And then what I'm also going to do is if you take advantage today, there's two things. If you take advantage today, number one, if you want to meet us at the Social Media Revenue Summit in Las Vegas, you can buy a ticket today for that. And if you buy a ticket from this webinar, I'm going to throw in our business buying masterclass as an extra bonus. That's $1,000 value. But if you decide to invest in coaching with me today, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in your social media revenue summit and the business buying masterclass as a separate bonus. So basically what this is we're on Zoom for 12 sessions and I'm holding you and your team accountable. I'm making sure that things get done and we're figuring out those areas of low hanging fruit that are going to help you grow relatively quick. Sometimes it's minor tweaks in your strategy that produce the biggest gains. If you're on this webinar right now, you probably fall into a couple categories. Maybe you're not really doing too much on social media and you're relatively new to the process, but you know this is where the future is. Maybe you're also crushing it. You're doing awesome, but you know with some minor adjustments, you could be getting much better results. So either one of those, I can absolutely help you. These calls are recorded for your convenience. You can have as many team members or marketing people, your CA on if you want to, just so they are the implementers. Or if you're going to implement it yourself, that's totally fine. Plan on 30 to 40 minutes per session with me on the calls, and I like to give you the sharp doses of information. So you're going to get personal step-by-step guidance as I look under the hood of your practice or your business, and I'm going to help you craft your marketing campaigns. We're going to do this together, so it takes the guesswork out of what a successful campaign looks like, and I'll show you how to test and tweak, and I'll give you swipe copy from other clients that have had success helping craft their ads, and I'll also be able to critique, look over your shoulder so you actually get it right the first time. You don't have to waste hundreds to thousands of dollars on X marketing agency. And you'll get sample swipe files, plug and play. You'll get priority email access, just like my mastermind and coaching members always do. And like I said before, I'll give you a complimentary ticket to our social media revenue summit in Las Vegas, either in March, or we do host our social media revenue summit in Atlanta. This year it's going to be on August 16th at the Porsche Experience Center in Atlanta. We like to do these experiential events where, of course, there's going to be a lot of learning, social media profit growth, business growth strategies on one day. And then the day before, like in our Las Vegas event, we have a separate package where we're going to be driving tanks and shooting heavy artillery, just some like really cool bucket list stuff that you can only do out in the West right there. Well, in Atlanta, we do our Porsche experience the day before. You drive fast cars. And so I do like to have a little fun. And I just find that the events are just so much better when you combine the learning, the business growth, plus a little bit of adventure. You're going to get complimentary access as a coaching client to my Internet Income Club course, Chat GPT Marketing Secrets, Business Buying Masterclass, my Social Media Elite Practice Growth System, Real Estate Investing Online course. And then you get opportunities and contacts that would otherwise not be available to you because I share my resources and my closest contacts with people like in my inner circle. In my mastermind or my coaching. And then there's also members perks in the future. So who this is for is if you want and you function better or you need to have your feet held to the fire in the accountability. I'm the same way. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy on certain things. I'm a member of 3 different mastermind groups right now. And so I invest in coaching and training with high level people myself. I try to practice what I preach. You want an aggressive approach. You understand that time is money. You can figure out a lot of stuff on your own. The internet's a beautiful thing. Do you have 4 months, 6 months, a year at putting in a couple hours a day to do this though? You can compress time when you align with certain people and mentors. And that's what I offer through my coaching programs. If you want to create additional streams of income on top of your practice and you want handholding from somebody that's done it very, very well, this is definitely for you. And if you want a proven plan, step-by-step plan to execute, and you just want to make sure things get done, I could share with you success story after success story of docs and business owners that I've coached, helping them grow, 13 plus patients in a week, 120K collections in a month, 25 patients in a month, 30K in an online course, 37K plus launching an online course, thousands of new clients from social media, 22 in her first Facebook month, and the most successful methods that Dr. Cameron's done in his first his 28 years of practice, 3 to 5 new patients a week from 3 to 5 new patients a year, right? I don't, by the way, I don't promise anything. I'm just sharing with you some amazing success stories because you're going to grow as you get this whole thing implemented together. There's like no choice in the matter. You will grow. Dr. Brad, 6,500 his first month selling on Amazon, hundreds of thousands generated using these channels with Dr. Greg. Dr. Barbara Eaton growing her coaching business 500K in less than a year. Dr. Sachin Patel, functional medicine doc, amazing guy, $1 million of revenue he credits to working with myself. And so very blessed and grateful to help a lot of docs and business owners over the years. And this gives you a strategic game plan. It's not a theory because I've worked with so many people over the years to help you consistently generate monthly revenue with Facebook, Instagram, Google, hopefully continued with TikTok because we don't know how that ship's going to go yet, but I'm optimistic. And I give you weekly access and coaching that helps to fast track your success. You get feedback from me personally, so you get it right the first time. And really, coaching is not always about solving problems. It's about creating new possibilities in your marketing and helping you use social media most effectively to realize your goals. Again, if your goal is to also create additional streams online, I can help you launch courses, ebooks, membership sites. I've sold many millions of dollars with those. Automate your business for passive revenue, solidifying you as the expert in your place. And if you want to use Amazon, Amazon's a big network. It's not going anywhere. You can use that to create 5 figures a month in income. Google rankings, for cash flow, buying businesses for cash flow, and also creating an unstoppable public relations machine you couldn't turn off even if you wanted to. So the coaching investment, and I'd ask you, what's the average new client worth to your office, your patient, or whatever? What is that? Is the average case value worth 1,000, 2,500, 5,000? Likely a couple patients or a couple sales is going to go ahead and take care of the investment with working with me. But what's the real value of learning a skill set that pays you over and over again for life? This is not like a postcard drop where you throw it in the mail and you get the result one time. You learn a set of systems that feeds you for life. And what's the value of getting feedback and being coached by somebody that's successfully worked with thousands of doctors of chiropractic and business owners? And if you've been a client or subscriber in the past, I've gotten a lot of success stories. So you've likely generated thousands, tens of thousands, many hundreds of thousands maybe of dollars from the information that I've shared for free. So again, this is really not a risk, and I'm going to make you a guarantee at the very end. But the investment is a one-time $79.97. That's all. And what we can do is we can do 3 easy payment options for you. We can do a one pay of $79.97 today, if that works best for you. Or we can do a two pay of $39.98.50 today and then $39.98.50 due in 60 days. Or we can do a three pay. And you could actually email Anna, info@dcincome.com to get either of those. Info@dcincome.com, or you can do 2,500 down today and then 3 monthly installments of $1,900. And my personal guarantee with you is if you go through all the 12 sessions and you don't feel like you've gotten more than your money's worth, like legitimately, you've learned skill sets that you know are going to pay you for life, that you've just learned how to grow your business, you've implemented, and more importantly, you've executed, because I can show you stuff, but if you don't execute, well, I'm not going to do the work for you. And I think that we both know that. But if you execute, and you can legitimately say this hasn't worked out for you at all, and you just, for whatever reason, I'll give your investment back. So there's no risk on your part because I know I'm that confident in what I can deliver as long as you will execute on what I share. So I have 2 spots available. Once they're gone, probably going to be a 3-month-ish waiting list. And my average coaching client recoups their investment in 30 days. Of course, I don't guarantee that because there are miscellaneous things in industries where there's way more legwork up front. However, if you've got an email list of your patients or clients, there's a lot of money in that list we can tap into real quick. And if you're a previous coaching client, just email info@dcincome.com so you can get a hookup. So again, info@dcincome.com if you want to take advantage of the private coaching and message me. You'll get a free ticket to our social media revenue summit on top as an extra bonus as a coaching member in Las Vegas. I promise it's going to be an amazing event out there. So I look forward to helping you set records in 2025. And I would caution you as we move through, depending on what happens with TikTok, don't just think about TikTok. This is a wake-up call that the government can step in at any time and say, hey, we don't want you to use Facebook. We don't want you to use Google anymore. They violated X. So what are you going to do? If you're going to keep doing what you're doing, are you on thin ice? Generate and create multiple traffic sources. I'd love to help you get this implemented so you get it done right the first time and you increase your impact influence and your monthly income rapidly. So again, email us info@dcincome.com or just message me on social media and say, hey, I'd like to take advantage of the coaching. We'll have a short conversation to see if it's really a good fit for you and then go from there. So again, cheers to massive success and prosperity this year and beyond. Lots of opportunity with everything. So if you need anything in the meantime, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to y'all soon. Cheers.